Just to lower the tone, as if it's even possible normally on this show. Yeah. But would you sign up for a kink in the workplace training? It's not me asking. This is it's the outrage. Is it as outrageous as it sounds? There's a social commentator and writer, James Esses, joins us now. James, I'll let you explain it because I'll blush if I try and get into details. What's it all about?
Good evening. I mean, look, I feel very sorry for my wife because I force her to sit through these weird and wacky things that I get sent by concerned members of the public, even if it means a lifetime of therapy for me. But this is training being delivered by a hypnotherapist and a life coach, and it's supposedly how to bring kink and BDSM practices into the workplace. It's meant to be for aspiring middle managers. So I forced myself to sit through a few modules of this, and I can tell you that it was neither kinky nor was it beneficial for the workplace. It was flat out bizarre.
Look, we've all got bosses who've been a bit like that, but was there any part of it that was useful? I mean, I don't know how much you could give us the details of the kind of stuff you learned at this time of day on the TV, but what was it all about?
Well, it was taking very basic workplace concepts and then trying to kind of kinkify them. So, for example, it talked through how to use workplace risk assessment, but rather than Johnny tripping over a cable or Sue spilling some hot tea on her lap, it was about what happens if you whip somebody with a flogging strap in the wrong part of their body, causing them an injury. Or, for example, instead of talking about engaging with stakeholders, it talked about how to best engage with your gimps. This is word for word what is contained within this training. And you know, he's charging 80 quid a pop for this. And it gets even more bizarre because one would think for workplace training, you know, someone would want to celebrate that, maybe even go and tell their manager, I've just undertaken this brand new training, but not this training, because users are told that if they want to use a discrete payment label to appear on their bank statement, that's on offer too. So what is meant to be workplace training sounds more like hiring a prostitute or purchasing some pornography. It's very strange indeed.
And that's more the kind of thing you do in the House of Commons. But look, I mean, would you put it on your CV? What kind of... Did you fall for a prank, is what I'm thinking here? The idea that there's a training course that teaches you how to use kink at work, but clearly you can't, because HR would surely have a word with you straight away. Is it just about getting the 80 quid out of, I can't say the word perverts, but you know what I'm talking about?
Well, we're living in a world in which we're meant to indulge and even celebrate people's weird practices, fetishes, sometimes even perversions. I think that this individual is taking people's hard-earned money, you know, and at the end of the day, these individuals want to be affirmed, and this affirms them to, you know, but I think it's very bizarre because there's something quite, I'd say, unethical actually about going to the workplace and viewing your colleagues through a lens of BDSM. But, you know, we joke about some of the content of this, but I've come across other very, very dangerous training taking place in the United Kingdom. So, for example, there's a therapeutic organization called the College of Sex and Relationship Therapists. It's an accredited body. And they recently did a webinar for their members, essentially justifying bestiality. They call it animal play. And they say that because of things like Beauty and the Beast, that this is already normal within our culture, this idea that human beings might want to shack up with animals. And they attempt to try and justify this. And bear in mind, this is training being delivered to therapists who are then going to offer this to vulnerable clients. They even go on to say that sleep play, in other words, people who have a sexual fantasy of having sex with people who are unconscious, that is okay on the basis that we have a film called Sleeping Beauty.
Okay, is anyone going to step in and regulate this at any stage? Because it feels like someone should.
Well, precisely, but I think culturally things have almost gone too far. You know, we think about LGBTQ+, and this is now being used as an umbrella to catch all of these weird, you know, perversions. And historically, you know, we were taught as a society to be tolerant, to be accepting, but now we're told that we must celebrate. You know, that's why we've got drag acts going into kindergartens to perform for children. That's why we've got, you know, London police parading next to men in fetish gear at last week's London Pride Festival. So I don't really know how we roll back from this, but we certainly need to, because I sincerely worry for the future of humanity.
But at least you've done the training course now, so you can definitely put it on your CV. You never know, you might get hired. Thank you very much.